Some voices never really leave. They drift back through old car rides, late-night radios, family kitchens, and moments we thought were gone for good. Tonight, we revisit the singers who shaped an era, changed the sound of popular music, and left stories that still echo long after the record stopped spinning. Before we continue, please leave a comment telling us where you are watching from and what time it is where you are. It is always a pleasure to see these memories bringing people together from so many places. David Bowie. His voice and image kept changing shape, turning reinvention into a kind of magic that never stood still for long. That fearless spirit lived in Space Oddity and the Ziggy Stardust years. He died on January 10, 2016 at 69 in New York. His legacy was defined by innovation, imagination, and artistic freedom without limits. Elton John. His piano playing brought sparkle and heart together, pairing grand showmanship with melodies that felt deeply personal. That brilliance lived in Rocket Man and Your Song, where tenderness met theatrical color. At 79, he has stepped away from major touring while remaining active through music and public life. His legacy is built on songwriting, spectacle, and extraordinary longevity. Ozzy Osbourne. Chaos and charisma shaped his presence, while his voice gave heavy metal a wild and unmistakable pulse. That rebellious force lived in Crazy Train and the thunder of Black Sabbath, where darkness became part of the sound. He died on July 22, 2025 at 76. He is remembered for shock, influence, and a spirit that never bowed quietly. Stevie Wonder. His voice carried warmth, soul, and vision, making joy and struggle feel equally alive inside the same song. That feeling lived in Superstition, where rhythm, intelligence, and heart moved as one. At 75, he remains musically active and deeply admired across generations. His legacy is defined by genius, versatility, and a rare ability to turn feeling into timeless sound. Johnny Cash. His deep voice felt weathered and true, carrying faith, regret, and redemption with plain-spoken power. That gravity lived in Ring of Fire and I Walk the Line, where simplicity carried enormous weight. He died on September 12, 2003 at 71 in Nashville. He is remembered for authenticity, spiritual force, and a legacy rooted in emotional truth. Bruce Springsteen. His voice carried open roads, hard work, and restless hope, turning ordinary lives into stories that felt heroic. That spirit lived in Born to Run, where longing and escape came rushing forward together. At 76, he is still active, continuing to record and perform. His legacy is built on resilience, storytelling, and a lasting bond with everyday life. Leonard Cohen. His voice felt like a quiet confession, low and reflective, turning songs into poetry touched by longing and mortality. That depth lived in Hallelujah, where restraint somehow made every word feel heavier. He died on November 7, 2016 at 82 in Los Angeles. He is remembered for wisdom, lyrical brilliance, and a legacy shaped by intimacy and thought. Bob Dylan. His voice and phrasing made simple lines sound elusive, questioning, and larger than the moment around them. That power lived in Blowin' in the Wind, where a plain melody carried cultural weight far beyond itself. At 84, he continues touring selectively. His legacy is defined by songwriting revolution, poetic influence, and a constant refusal to stand still. George Harrison. Quiet and reflective, he brought spirituality and melodic grace into popular music without ever needing to dominate the room. That essence lived in My Sweet Lord, where devotion and song met in a deeply personal way. He died on November 29, 2001 at 58 in Los Angeles. He is remembered for humility, inner depth, and lasting influence. Phil Collins. His voice carried quiet ache and direct emotion, while his rhythmic instincts gave even gentle songs real force. That feeling lived in the Air Tonight, where tension and loneliness were shaped into unforgettable sound. At 75, he has stepped back from touring because of health problems. His legacy is built on songwriting craft, clarity, and emotional honesty. Alice Cooper. Chaos, theater, and wicked charm defined his stage presence, turning rock performance into a world of spectacle. That energy lived in Schools Out, where mischief and menace came wrapped in irresistible force. At 78, he still tours and performs with tireless commitment. His legacy is defined by shock rock invention, fearless performance, and enduring theatrical flair. Billy Joel. His piano seemed to tell ordinary people's stories, turning city nights, heartbreak, and memory into melodies everyone understood. That feeling lived in Piano Man, where quiet observation became something universal. At 76, he remains a major concert figure, though recent dates were postponed because of a medical condition. His legacy is built on storytelling, melody, and emotional accessibility. Tom Petty. His voice felt like open highways and stubborn freedom, carrying honesty without decoration or strain. That spirit lived in Free Fallin', where simplicity, longing, and independence came together with unusual ease. He died on October 2, 2017 at 66 in Santa Monica. He is remembered for sincerity, rootsy clarity, and songs that still feel unmistakably real. Rod Stewart. That raspy voice carried swagger, soul, and weathered charm, blending looseness and romance into something instantly recognizable. That style lived in Maggie May, where roughness and feeling found perfect balance. At 81, he continues performing and drawing crowds with ease. His legacy is defined by longevity, stage charisma, and one of rock's most familiar voices. Chris Rea. His voice held a quiet, road-worn warmth, like headlights cutting through distance and reflection late at night. That feeling lived in Driving Home for Christmas, where understated emotion gave the song its lasting comfort. He died on December 22, 2025 at 74 in England. He is remembered for sincerity, atmosphere, and gentle blues-touch restraint. Bono. His voice rose with urgency and conviction, giving stadium rock a moral edge and emotional sweep. That spirit lived in With or Without You, where private longing and public intensity met in one song. At 65, he remains active through music and advocacy. His legacy is built on passion, influence, and a rare sense of purpose beyond performance. Ronnie James Dio. His voice carried myth, fire, and command, making heavy metal feel epic without losing human emotion. That power lived in Holy Diver, where fantasy, force, and drama came together with unforgettable intensity. He died on May 16, 2010, at 67 after cancer. He is remembered for vocal power, imagination, and a legacy that helped define metal. Neil Diamond. His voice carried rich warmth and melodic confidence, making even the biggest songs feel personal. That presence lived in Sweet Caroline, where easy connection turned into a shared ritual for generations. At 85, he remains retired from touring after his Parkinson's disease diagnosis. His legacy is defined by sing-along power, longevity, and timeless songwriting appeal. Meatloaf. Theatrical force and emotional excess made his performances feel enormous, as if every song arrived already burning. That energy lived in Bat Out of Hell, where rock became drama on a grand scale. He died on January 20, 2022 at 74. He is remembered for passion, storytelling, and a larger-than-life presence no one could mistake. Peter Gabriel. His voice and imagination kept reaching beyond boundaries, blending art rock, emotion, and visual daring into something distinct. That vision lived in Salisbury Hill, where movement and self-discovery shaped the song's enduring pull. At 76, he remains artistically active in public life. His legacy is built on experimentation, intelligence, and fearless expansion of what rock could be. Joe Cocker. His gritty voice felt fully lived in, every note roughened by experience and feeling. That intensity lived in You Are So Beautiful and With a Little Help from My Friends, where vulnerability and force stood side by side. He died on December 22, 2014 at 70. He is remembered for authenticity, raw emotion, and unforgettable vocal character. Stevie Nicks. Her voice felt mystical and weathered, carrying love, loss, and independence with an almost haunted grace. That spell lived in dreams, where softness and strength moved together in the same breath. At 77, she continues performing and holding audiences with ease. Her legacy is defined by poetic songwriting, visual mystique, and a singular presence in rock. Kenny Rogers. His voice carried warmth and storytelling ease, turning simple narratives into songs that felt personal and humane. That gift lived in The Gambler, where wisdom, risk, and comfort were wrapped into one unforgettable performance. He died on March 20th, 2020, at 81 in Georgia. He is remembered for sincerity, crossover appeal, and timeless country pop storytelling. Eric Clapton. His guitar seemed to speak in a low, intimate voice, shaping blues and rock into something restrained and personal. That feeling lived in Layla, where yearning and musicianship came together with unusual force. At 81, he remains active and continues to perform selectively. His legacy is built on guitar mastery, tonal elegance, and enduring influence on blues rock. Robert Smith. His voice drifted between sadness and beauty, while his look and mood turned melancholy into its own world. That atmosphere lived in Just Like Heaven, where sweetness and ache moved together without losing either. At 67, he remains active with The Cure. His legacy is defined by vulnerability, gothic style, and a lasting mark on alternative music. Barry Gibb. His falsetto soared with precision and feeling, giving rhythm and melody a polished emotional lift. That sound lived in Stayin' Alive, where timing, harmony, and confidence defined an era. At 79, he remains publicly connected to music and Bee Gees-related projects. His legacy is built on songwriting brilliance, vocal identity, and extraordinary commercial reach. Michael Bolton. His voice carried full-bodied emotion, turning adult contemporary ballads into sweeping expressions of love and heartbreak. That intensity lived in How Am I Supposed to Live Without You, where longing rose to its highest pitch. At 73, he has stepped back from touring while recovering from serious illness. His legacy is defined by vocal strength and romantic storytelling. Brian May. His guitar voice soared with grandeur and precision, turning riffs and solos into something unmistakably heroic. That power lived in We Will Rock You and the larger-than-life world of Queen. At 78, he remains publicly active through music and appearances. His legacy is built on innovation, musicianship, and one of rock's most recognizable guitar sounds. Cat Stevens. His gentle voice carried introspection and warmth, turning simple melodies into reflections on faith, meaning, and peace. That sincerity lived in Wild World, where tenderness and distance stayed in delicate balance. At 77, now known as Yusuf, he remains active through music and public projects. His legacy is defined by spiritual depth, melodic grace, and lasting intimacy. Steven Tyler. Wild energy and unmistakable vocals turned every performance into a spectacle, balancing swagger, grit, and emotional release. That force lived in Dream On, where power and vulnerability rose together. At 78, he remains a public figure. Though Aerosmith has retired from touring, his legacy is built on charisma, range, and one of hard rock's great frontman identities. Robin Gibb. His distinctive vibrato carried emotion with haunting clarity, giving even gentle melodies an aching intensity. That sensitivity lived in How Deep Is Your Love, where softness and sorrow stayed delicately intertwined. He died on May 20th, 2012, at 62 after serious illness. He is remembered for harmonic beauty, emotional precision, and a lasting place in pop history. Tom Jones. Power and control defined his voice, commanding attention with a force that made showmanship look effortless. That strength lived in It's Not Unusual, where confidence and pure vocal authority met head-on. At 85, he remains active and still appears on stage. His legacy is built on charisma, vocal command, and a career that spans generations. Don Felder. His guitar spoke with clarity and lift, adding texture, movement, and melodic fire to classic rock. That craftsmanship lived in Hotel California, where atmosphere and precision turned a song into an enduring landmark. At 78, he continues performing live. His legacy is defined by musicianship, collaboration, and guitar work that helped shape one of rock's signature recordings. Billy Idol. Defiance and electricity defined his presence, blending punk attitude with pop instinct in a way that felt both dangerous and catchy. That energy lived in Rebel Yell, where swagger and melody drove the whole performance. At 70, he still performs with intensity. His legacy is built on attitude, style, and a rebellious sound that broke into the mainstream. Gilbert O'Sullivan. Gentle melodies and thoughtful phrasing gave his songs a quiet intimacy, making vulnerability sound simple and direct. That sincerity lived in Alone Again naturally, where private feeling became widely shared. At 79, he continues performing and recording selectively. His legacy is defined by melodic craftsmanship, lyrical honesty, and an emotional connection that has aged with grace. Mark Knopfler. His guitar did not need to shout. It seemed to speak in a calm, exact voice full of detail. That subtle brilliance lived in Sultans of Swing, where elegance and control made every phrase memorable. At 76, he lives more privately after stepping away from touring. His legacy is built on precision, storytelling, and instantly recognizable guitar style. Brian Johnson. His raw, high-voltage voice drove rock forward with a force that felt relentless and unfiltered. That power lived in Back in Black, where hard rhythm and vocal fire met at full speed. At 78, he remains connected to music and public appearances. His legacy is defined by endurance, intensity, and a frontman presence tied to rock's loudest era. Neil Young. Raw and unfiltered, he let emotion lead the music, moving between tenderness and distortion without softening the edges. That honesty lived in Heart of Gold, where simplicity carried its own haunting weight. At 80, he remains creatively active. His legacy is built on independence, authenticity, and a lifelong refusal to compromise his artistic voice. Lou Gramm. Power and clarity defined his voice, lifting arena rock melodies into something huge, emotional, and unforgettable. That force lived in I Want to Know What Love Is, where grandeur never erased human feeling. At 75, he still makes public appearances and occasional performances. His legacy is defined by vocal strength and one of rock's great arena sound signatures. Tony Orlando. His voice carried warmth and optimism, bringing easy togetherness to songs that felt made to be shared. That spirit lived in Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree, where charm and simplicity were the whole point. At 82, he remains publicly connected to fans. His legacy is built on positivity, accessibility, and enduring sing-along appeal. Jimmy Page. His guitar did not simply lead the music, it seemed to command it, building riffs that felt massive and mythic. That mastery lived in Stairway to Heaven, where mystery, power, and ambition met in full. At 82, he lives largely out of the spotlight. His legacy is defined by innovation, mystique, and one of rock's most influential guitar voices. Paul Anka. Smooth and composed, he brought youthful polish and timeless poise to pop, making romance sound easy. That feeling lived in Diana, while his songwriting later reached even further through my way. At 84, he still performs selectively. His legacy is built on longevity, melodic instinct, and a career that kept adapting without losing elegance. Axl Rose. His voice swung from raw grit to piercing intensity, giving hard rock a volatility that felt dangerous and alive. That energy lived in Sweet Child O' Mine, where tenderness and chaos somehow held together. At 64, he remains active with Guns N' Roses. His legacy is defined by attitude, range, and a frontman presence impossible to ignore. Peter Frampton. His guitar seemed to speak with warmth and clarity, turning skill into something inviting and human. That spirit lived in Show Me the Way, where melody and musicianship reached listeners with unusual ease. At 76, he continues making music despite serious health challenges. His legacy is built on perseverance, musical grace, and a deep live connection. Van Morrison. His voice moved like a stream of thought, blending soul, jazz, and rock into something intimate and restless. That feeling lived in Brown Eyed Girl, where spontaneity and melody found a perfect meeting point. At 80, he continues performing. His legacy is defined by individuality, emotional depth, and a catalog that resists simple classification. Boy George. Style and sound merged into a striking identity, with a voice that balanced vulnerability and confidence. That presence lived in Karma Chameleon, where color, flair, and feeling turned into a cultural moment. At 64, he remains active in music and media. His legacy is built on reinvention, individuality, and influence that stretched far beyond the songs. Peter Cetera. Clarity and smooth emotion defined his voice, giving pop rock ballads a polished tenderness that connected instantly. That style lived in Glory of Love, where sincerity and melody carried equal weight. At 81, he lives a quieter life away from touring. His legacy is defined by melodic strength, romantic balladry, and success both solo and with Chicago. Frankie Valli. His high falsetto soared above the music with a bright lift that made every phrase instantly recognizable. That sound lived in Can't Take My Eyes Off You, where urgency and sweetness met perfectly. At 91, he remains connected to live performance. His legacy is built on longevity, vocal identity, and one of pop's most distinctive voices. Bruce Dickinson. His voice soared with operatic force, turning heavy metal into something grand, intelligent, and theatrical. That strength lived in The Number of the Beast, where storytelling and power came charging together. At 67, he remains active with Iron Maiden. His legacy is defined by versatility, command, and one of metal's most formidable frontman identities. Billy Ocean. His voice carried warmth and easy rhythm, blending pop and soul into songs that felt uplifting from the first note. That energy lived in Caribbean Queen, where charm and groove worked hand in hand. At 76, he continues performing occasionally. His legacy is built on crossover appeal, feel-good melody, and a timeless connection with listeners. Morrissey. His baritone carried fragile melancholy and sharp wit, turning loneliness and alienation into something strangely intimate. That tone lived in this charming man, and later in Every Day Is Like Sunday, where sadness came dressed in style. At 66, he remains active and still performs selectively. His legacy is defined by lyrical individuality and emotional candor. Jose Feliciano. His voice and guitar spoke with heartfelt intimacy, turning familiar melodies into something warm and unmistakably personal. That feeling lived in Feliz Navidad and his striking version of Light My Fire. At 80, he remains connected to live music. His legacy is built on versatility, expressive guitar work, and a sound that crossed languages and borders. James Hetfield. His voice and rhythm guitar delivered raw aggression with iron control, making metal feel both brutal and disciplined. That force lived in Enter Sandman, where heaviness and precision locked together perfectly. At 62, he remains active with Metallica. His legacy is defined by endurance, command, and a central role in shaping modern heavy metal. Paul Young. Warmth and blue-eyed soul flowed through his voice, giving pop songs an easy emotional clarity. That feeling lived in Every Time You Go Away, where Polish never erased vulnerability. At 70, he still performs selectively. His legacy is built on smooth delivery, heartfelt expression, and a voice that helped define adult pop in the 1980s. Roger Waters. His voice carried tension, reflection, and political edge, turning rock songs into meditations on power and fear. That vision lived in another brick in the wall, where concept and emotion worked together with unusual force. At 82, he remains publicly active through music-related projects. His legacy is defined by ambition, commentary, and conceptual rock scale. Ian Anderson. His voice and flute created something unmistakably theatrical, blending folk, progressive rock, and eccentric energy into one style. That identity lived in Aqualung, where oddness and intelligence became a signature. At 78, he continues performing with Jethro Tull. His legacy is built on originality, invention, and a stage presence no one else could duplicate. Brian Ferry. Smooth elegance defined his voice, blending art rock cool and romantic distance into something refined and quietly seductive. That atmosphere lived in more than this in the Roxy Music years, where style itself became part of the music. At 80, he remains artistically active through releases and select appearances. His legacy is defined by sophistication and mood. Eddie Vedder. His deep, resonant voice carried introspection and quiet strength, making vulnerability feel grounded rather than fragile. That presence lived in Alive, where pain and endurance were held together with unusual dignity. At 61, he remains active in music and performance. His legacy is built on honesty, emotional gravity, and a defining role in modern rock. Michael Nesmith. Thoughtful and understated, he brought depth and offbeat intelligence to pop music, quietly outgrowing easy expectations. That approach lived in Different Drum and Listen to the Band, where songwriting mattered as much as image. He died on December 10, 2021 at 78 in California. He is remembered for creativity, independence, and influence beyond the Monkees. Steve Perry. His voice soared with warmth and lift, turning arena rock melodies into something tender and unforgettable. That power lived in Don't Stop Believin' and Open Arms, where sweetness and force stood side by side. At 77, he lives largely out of the spotlight. His legacy is defined by one of rock's most iconic and emotionally generous voices. Engelbert Humperdinck. His smooth, romantic voice carried elegance and longing, making love songs feel timeless and polished. That charm lived in Release Me and The Last Waltz, where sentiment and control stayed perfectly balanced. At 89, he still performs selectively around the world. His legacy is built on classic romantic pop, vocal discipline, and extraordinary longevity. Noddy Holder. His powerful, gritty voice turned glam rock into a loud celebration, full of swagger and crowd-lifting energy. That spirit lived in Come On, Feel the Noise, where joy and noise arrived together at full blast. At 79, he lives more privately than many of his peers. His legacy is defined by raw power, hooks, and Slade's enduring force. John Bon Jovi. His voice blended grit, melody, and uplift, turning arena rock into something anthemic yet accessible. That energy lived in Livin' on a Prayer, where struggle and hope rose together in one chorus. At 64, he remains active through music and public life. His legacy is built on resilience, mass appeal, and enduring frontman charisma. Their voices gave us more than music. They stayed with us through love, loss, change, and time itself. If these memories meant something to you, please like, subscribe, and share where these songs first found you.